The gravel crunched beneath my boots, a familiar but bitter sound that stirred memories I had long since buried. I stood at the edge of my childhood home, its peeling paint and crooked fence a stark reminder of the laughter that once filled these walls. It was here that I had first dared to speak of the unspeakable, of the rotting scales on livestock, of the blighted crops that whispered secrets of ancient rituals. But laughter had echoed back, sharp and cruel. Each jeer a dagger of disbelief that cut deeper than any knife. "You're losing your mind, you know," my brother had said, his voice thick with scorn. "Chasing shadows and folklore, you'll disgrace the family." I had clung to my studies in occult agrobiology, but it had cost me everything: my job, my reputation, and my family's respect. Branded a liar for reporting livestock deaths tied to unspeakable horrors, I had become a pariah, a cautionary tale whispered among the townsfolk. But I had survived. I had delved into the heart of darkness, unraveling the twisted threads of ancient rituals that caused the mutations, the blights, and the horrors lurking just beneath the surface of the soil. I returned now, not as a disgrace, but as a warning, my name whispered with a mixture of awe and fear. I had unearthed truths that the world was only beginning to acknowledge. As I stepped onto the porch, the wood creaked under the weight of my presence. I pushed the door open. Its hinges "You're not wrong, but I found something that might interest you." They fell silent, the weight of my words hanging in the air like a heavy fog. I could see the fear flickering in their eyes, the uncertainty of what I had become. But they had no idea. They thought they could hold on to their ignorance, their safety in numbers. I was the crazy one, but I had faced what they could not. "Listen, I'm not here to argue," I said, my voice steady despite the tremor in my heart. "I'm here to show you. The very things you mocked me for, they're real, and they've come home with me." The gasps and whispers erupted, disbelief mingling with fear. I felt the familiar sting of their ridicule creeping back, but I pushed it aside. It was time for them to see. I reached into my bag, pulling out samples, vials filled with dark, viscous liquid, and tiny, grotesque specimens of mutated crops. "These," I said, placing them on the table, "are proof of what I've learned. The blights, the mutations, it's all connected to old rituals, sacrifices made to appease something that lurks beneath the earth." My brother scoffed. "You expect us to believe this nonsense?" But I was done with their disbelief. I had faced the shadows, and I would not let their scorn drown me again. "You don't have to believe me," I replied, my voice low and steady. "But you will believe when you see. And trust me, you will see." I had brought a gift back from the dark rituals I had witnessed. A cursed seed, a remnant of a long-forgotten harvest that had once fed the cursed. It pulsed with a malevolent energy, thrumming in time with my heartbeat. I placed it on the table, the air around us thickening like fog. "Behold," I said, my voice rising as I felt the energy crackle, "the seed of truth." And then it happened. The walls of the house seemed to shudder, the air vibrating with a deep resonance. My family's faces drained of color as the seed began to sprout, tendrils curling and twisting as if reaching for something just out of reach. The room filled with a terrible, agonizing wail, an echo of the livestock that had met their fate, a sound that pierced the very fabric of reality. The tendrils grew, wrapping around my family, constricting their fears and disbelief. I watched, a mix of horror and satisfaction flooding my veins. As they realized the gravity of their ridicule, their eyes widened in terror, faces twisting at the understanding that the very forces they had dismissed were now alive, breathing, and reaching for them. "Please," my mother cried, struggling against the creeping vines. "We didn't believe you. We thought you were mad." Madness is only a matter of perspective, I replied, my voice cold as the shadows deepened. You mocked me for seeking the truth. And now you see it, feel it, firsthand. The room echoed with their screams as the shadows closed in, the cursed seed's tendrils snaking around them, binding them in a grotesque embrace. I stood back, watching as the truth unfolded before me, a chilling tableau of poetic justice. They had dismissed me as a disgrace, but now they were the ones ensnared by their disbelief. In that moment, I felt a strange sense of peace wash over me. I had survived the dark, and now they would face the cost of their ignorance. Standing amidst the chaos, I whispered a prayer to the soil that had given me this knowledge, this power, a power I had earned through suffering. As the shadows enveloped my family, I turned away, leaving them to their fate. The door creaked shut behind me, sealing the echoes of their terror within. I stepped back into the night, knowing I had become something more than a mere disgrace. I was a harbinger of truth, a keeper of darkness, and I would never be mocked again.